This video, we're going to be breaking down Abram versus Gabagol. This is in the RHG Red Hot Gaming $40,000 live event, sponsored by Oklahoma Esports 818 and Ugly John's Custom Boats. Super excited for this matchup. Gabagol is one of my favorite players to study in the Madden community. He's one of the best offensive players every single year. He's always going to play the way Gabagol kind of plays the game is very kind of like almost like a clean game. The way he likes to play, you're going to see he's going to do very little things that are he's very precise with his game. And so excited to kind of dive into how he's playing the game. Didn't see him in a live event this year. Kind of a down year for him, but I think by all accounts, one of the better switch sticks in the country. Does some really unique things defensively that I'm going to be breaking down with his safeties. And Abram, obviously top 3 player this year, right? One of the better Madden players in Madden 25, been consistent all year. And he is going to start out with PA snag with the quick snap of just a simple drag, a little mesh concept over the middle of the field. And we're going to see Gabagol on defense. So one of the little things that Gabagol does within his game is you're going to see that his safeties, most people, he is running double safety go, but what he does is he manually kind of moves these safeties into a better position. So when the safeties are down here in the box, the only zone that they can be on is either a straight up inside quarter or a middle third type of zone. Those are really the only 2 zones you're going to see. By him putting the safeties at 10 yards, they're going to be able to basically play almost any zone that they want to be able to play. They're going to be able to get the proper depth that they need. So it's going to give him a lot more versatility within his coverage as a whole. That being said, here we have a little bit of a roll coverage technique using that short side deep half to be able to prevent one play touchdowns. And you're going to see, a nice little knockout right there over the middle of the field. Gabagol does have his hooks on 5, so he's going to have those yellow zones kind of playing a little bit more underneath. And another quick hike from Abram. Honestly, Gabagol kind of right there, almost switch stick picked it, but Abram somehow able to complete it over the middle. And as I said, Gabagol is going to, he's kind of one of those guys, like I said, he plays very precise. So he's going to try to basically guess what you're doing and call the perfect adjustment for what you're doing. His defense is kind of structured that way. He's going to adjust a lot more. And then the other thing is he's going to like switch stick and really commit within his switch stick. Like the way he switch sticks, very much so he's going to do a good job of like committing. And then he'll also bluff, like he'll fake switch stick one way and then go the other direction. So just kind of, kind of just a really good way to do it. As you see right here, I mean, this is just, he switch sticks here to kind of lurk in this area. Then you're going to see switch sticks here to kind of dive on this. And then he actually switch sticks back down in the middle to be able to defend that. So the other thing that Gabagol is going to do is he's going to kind of run his players into position within the coverage itself and then click off, which is a really nice way to do it in terms of how he switches. Here he is going to go to cover 2. Take a look at the coverage. Hopefully he'll show it to us here. And we do have a roll. So this is the whole purpose. So the whole purpose of Gabagol moving these safeties back is so that he can have this middle third here and a deep half here. This allows him to Mabel over here on this cover 2 side. And then it allows him to basically be able to defend with 3, get an extra guy underneath in defense deep. Good read from Abram to that little corner route. He loves that route in this year's game. And that's going to bring up 1st and 10 on the 17. One of the things super important, right? You want to make your opponent have to work. You want to make your opponent have to drive up and down the field. You don't want them to score in one play. So Gabagol doing a good job of kind of keeping everything in front on this first drive, and he's going to force Abram into a red zone position. So even though Abram's really moving the ball well, Gabagol actually is going to be able to force a red zone opportunity for his defense to be able to try to get a stop. He is going to go down to 6-1 here. Really good red zone defense. We'll take a look at what his coverage is. And looks like Abram is going to audible over into this tight Y off. And you see here, you got a cloud, you got an inside quarter, you have an outside little third appears, a hook curl, and then we're going to send some pressure. He's actually sending 6. So his user lurk is probably going to peel right in here and then probably looking to switch stick over in this area of the field. So see how that all kind of pans out for him. He should rehook curl. He is going to rehook curl. And Abram goes to that bunch X nasty. Or no, tight Y off. That was mesh spot. And he's able to hit the hitch over the middle of the field. And that was on a quarter, right? So just kind of gets into a perfect spot. I think Gabagol is expecting this to be a KO. but Gabagool has to kind of commit to the drag, and Abram able to get on top early for 6. And he is just going to take his field goal. Now, the other thing about this is that Gabagool is going to be running the Eagles playbook on offense. Abram, I thought he was in Niners, but I'm pretty sure he's actually in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers playbook, which is similar to Niners, has some stuff, but I'm not sure in this specific case. He might be in Niners. I don't know, but I think the fact that he ran that auto motion means he's in Steelers. Anyways, that being said, Gabagool is going to be in the Eagles playbook. Pretty sure about that one. Yeah, he is going to be definitely in the Eagles. And he's going to be running normal out close. This is the offense that Fancy runs. This is the offense that Wesley runs. Honestly, this is the offense that like the best players in the world seem to kind of stick with. Better, a little better spacing, but you are going to see him probably stay in one formation majority of the game. Here are going to be a little flip. And one little thing I wanted to break down, this I have not seen anybody else do this year, but what he does, so you see how he comes out and you see how he's stemming. So if you watch right here, take a look at this left side with me. You see this route that he puts this left side guy on. We're gonna try to really break this down for you. This is like a super cool glitch. Let's see if I can just get it here for you real quick. I'm gonna try to go frame by frame. Yeah. So you see this route that the triangle receiver is on. As you see, it looks like it originally is a return route, but what it looks like is happening is Gabagool has either put a curl or he's just put a flat out streak. But you notice that he stems it up. So he stems it up a couple of times, and then watch this. He's gonna flip his play. And when he flips his play, look what he's created in his slot. This route is not something you see from most people in normal live close, but he has created basically a short post from the slot. So what I anticipate happens is what he has done is by stemming up the curl or whatever route that slot receiver is on and then flipping the play, it turns that slant into a stemmable short post as opposed to a slant. And so he gets perfect. Like this is a really, really cool route that he's able to create. Super little thing, but it is something that's really nice out of this formation because everybody's used to PA snag. But the beauty is, as you see, he's going to put that speed out. He's probably going to stem that up here. And now you have one of my favorite concepts, just a basic shallow cross. Like this is such a good concept right here. This is something you can do out of Niners. Actually, it has the play flood H post, but couple keys to this. Number one, he's able to do this with play action blocking, and then number two, the nice spacing of this formation is really a significant advantage. So I love this play, and I love that little kind of that he's going to do it first time, and there you see it here. And you see he's got this short post. Abram switch sticks over here. Gabagool reads that switch, and he's here. One of the things that players are doing in this event is they are more so reading the switch stick than anything else. Like they're primarily trying to identify, what is the switch stick post snap? Where is the user going to switch? And then kind of reading off of that. So here you can see this is the cheap flat post now, utilizing the short post from the left to right, and then this little return route. It actually got screamed out right here. This is why and Abram actually showed up with kind of a defense we really hadn't seen a lot of, this show blitz dollar, and he's going to be able to get that pressure right there. And that pressure is really going to make Gabagool uncomfortable. It's why every good defense in Madden, I don't care what year of defense you are talking about, is pretty much almost always based around some type of capability of getting consistent pressure on the quarterback and forcing different types of pass protection. See here, Gabagool going to a pass protection, ends up scrambling out of the pocket, gets out of there with Bo Nix. Kind of got an unfortunate animation right there, and only ended up getting 4 yards. Probably could have easily gotten like three or four more yards there. Anyway, he is going to audible over to this doubles offset weak formation with a little running back corner. We see this. We saw this play from Fancy in the Madden MCS playoffs. Here you have kind of a unique crosser from the tight end as well. That it's like a super deep verticals crosser. This guy on the right side kind of gets into a nice little pocket, and then you get that running back corner. So kind of a Y cross type of combination with a little bubble screen off the snap. Really nice play there. And Abram is going to be in this little show blitz dollar. So the show blitz dollar He's showing blitz out of a cover zero alignment. He's going to contain off this edge, and then he's going to send this guy, and occasionally he'll send the slot corner. That send of the slot corner is going to really help against any kind of pass pro. Here you're going to see he's going to go to the fake jet touch pass with a corner, and he is going to force feed that corner and gets a KO. Nice switch stick from Abram on that left side, able to defend that route, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. So again, the show blitz look from Abram. One of the things Gabriel is doing a ton. Oh, take a look here. Did he? Okay, so one of the things he does that's kind of interesting is he comes out short side, he stems his route, and then he flips it. And notice here that the route stem stays. And this is one of my favorite plays that I saw in this event. Take a look at this play with me real quick. So this is Y-Sail. Let me just back it up just a little bit, try to get you the actual routes here. So if you take a look at this with me, this is Y-Sail, and he's going to stem this. He's going to stem this post down. What he's done is he's hot routed a post, and then he's got a backside drag here. This is a levels concept in the real NFL, and there's 2 ways to run it. Number one, you can run it like this with this corner, but you could also, and what you see in the NFL more often is a streak. This was known as Peyton Manning's favorite play. It's this backside high-low that really does a great job, if you think about it, of putting a lot of stress on this defender and this defender. So the 2 coverages that are very popular is cover 2 with a vert hook like this, or what we're going to see right here, which is cover 4 with a hard flat like that. So if you get cover 4 with a hard flat like that, this guy's going to go out here, and then you can throw that post right there, or the user is going to say, okay, I'm going to take the wall of the post, and then that's where you can just check down to this backside drag. So it's a really nice little play that gives you a lot of options against the current meta. It looks like Gabriel is going to half slide left. He is going to send 5 out, and you see right here, I mean, basically Gab is probably looking right at that slot corner, and the second he sees that slot corner take a step outside, he's going to look to hit the post. So you see there, see how it takes that step, and then there's this little inside leverage kind of gift throw on that. Really nice route and a really nice route combination. Something we really haven't seen. Honestly, really haven't seen that type of combo. But that is a real life NFL concept that is really, really good. Double slant or levels. Either way, you can kind of get to it a couple different ways. Going to go to the inside zone here, get a couple yards with, say, quads. And it looks like Gabagool himself is also going into kind of a red zone position. It's kind of interesting when you watch some of the best players in the world play. Typically on the first drive, they're normally going to score on the first drive, but one of the big things is can you prevent them from scoring fast? And as you see here, you know, Abram has been able to do that. It's going to force a red zone position. And in these red zone scenarios, this is where most stops happen. When we talk about the best players in the world, this is kind of the area of which you're going to see, you know, most of the stops occur. So anywho, that being said, 2nd and 10, ball on the 17. He's going to audible over to trips tight end flex out of the Eagles book. Goes to kind of a unique play call that you don't see a lot. This is the motion fork choice. I kind of want to ask the question, why call the play here? And it's got to be for this tight end route because he's hot route and everything else. Again, something else, just very minor, but something that's worth mentioning. He's going to run the levels concept here, but he's going to do it from trips. So if you just take a look with me at the right side, you see here you've got streak, you've got that stem down post, and then that backside drag. This is literally levels. And then over here, we're going to get kind of a little C route and a table route concept with this clear out streak, kind of looking to throw that post right in that little pocket there. So kind of crazy how we're seeing a lot of levels in this game. Anywho, that being said, you get the heavy pressure off this left side. Let me back this up, watch this tight end run this route here with us. So if you take a look at the tight end, yeah, it's kind of like a speed out or speed corner, more of a speed out almost, not quite, kind of an interesting route. Anyway, eyes, you know, maybe here, but he's more than likely at this point, Gabagool is not looking over here. He's probably looking here, and really the high-low between Y and B, and he's going to have B, as you see, he's trying to throw it to him, but he is getting pressured and not able to get the ball out. But that is a cool combo, cool play, something definitely that I haven't even thought about from trips using that levels idea, so definitely going to add that into my playbook as well. So here's PA snag. I love this combo. It's a good red zone combo too. Let's see if it's able to work out for him. The running back wheel, and he ends up getting pressured off the edge. So what's crazy about this is he actually just kind of gets randomly shedded off a contain. His pocket, he kind of gets too far back in the pocket, and that contain is able to kind of get back. Otherwise, he might have had the running back a little bit later or a playmaker to the wide receiver there, but he is going to get stopped on his first drive. And this is what I was talking about. A lot of these games really come down to stuff like this. When you're able to get these stops in these situations, it's extremely valuable to the defense for Abram. And so now Gabagool does get ball at half, but Abram's going to be given an opportunity now to be able to go up 14-3, which is going to give him a 2 possession lead in the first half here. So we're going to see what Gabagool is able to do defensively, see if he changes anything up, and Abram is going to be in double flex close. That's why I think he's in Saints, but I'm not 100% sure. Anywho, he's going to go PS Nag, kind of little quick hike play there again. Goes with a streak and a drag, and then has that stock flat built into the play there. And that's going to get us to the end of the first quarter. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of little things here and there that we were able to see on both of these guys' first possession. Again, Abram, he's kind of been around all year. I mean, he was, I believe, a semifinalist. I want to say, was he not a semifinalist for the ultimate or the classic? I can't remember, but I know he was a semifinalist for Most Feared. I'm pretty sure for the ultimate kickoff. And then right here, this is really unfortunate for Gab. This is what he does well. He really is got a pretty decent switch. So right here, let's see if I can get the coverage. It's really that again, and Gab's really running a lot of Tampa too, base, but it's this cover 3 shell, and then this deep half. So where's the whole shot? The whole shot is right here, and that's what Abram is about to try to hit. So how do you close that whole shot? Either A, you user it, or B, you switch stick to this guy and rob the vertical. So you see here, he's going to switch stick. He actually switch sticks here for some reason early, but that I think maybe to try to lurk the running back. But then he gets to this guy, perfect timing, and he is robbing it. And what's really unfortunate is as you look at this, it looks like he touches, like it's in his hands. And the crazy part about that in this year's game, that's Pick Artist, by the way. And you see his facial expression on the right hand side, super frustrated with that. Abram, obviously, just super thankful and happy for what just happened. And now we're going to see kind of the next play. Normally there's and this happens all the time in these games. It's kind of the mental battle of Madden. But Abram goes back to literally to the same exact play, and even more so the same exact throw that he just threw a pick on, right? And so you see here, this time Gabagool stays here. He doesn't switch stick to the safety, and Abram is able to split that coverage and get a nice catch with his tight end there. All right, so see what he's doing. Another thing Gab's doing is he's kind of almost lurked a drag. But the way that Gab kind of switches, he really tries to lurk you. And sometimes what happens with that is you can bite, you can kind of, it requires a really like tight window of timing. And so let's see here. You're just going to switch stick the corner, and good read from Abram. Not at this where, and then Abram kind of gets. It's very unfortunate. So he goes to the streak. This is actually really bad by Gab, in my opinion. He switch sticks here, which is, it's not necessarily in of itself bad, but he switch sticks here. Normally what you would want to see is if he's going to do that where he runs to the corner, he needs to immediately switch here and then go get that streak. Instead, he stays super flat on this corner. 42, this is another little thing that Gab does, is he'll man up his user on this backside end. So once he switch sticks off, this guy has inside leverage. So it's even more reason why if he switch sticks here, he's able to really rob this guy of the streak. And then fortunately for him, Abram is not able to get his feet in bounds and kind of saves a touchdown there. So kind of, it doesn't necessarily completely make up for the drop pick, but it is what it is. All right, so 2nd and 10, and we're going to go play action again. Oh, and then I did want to mention this as well. So right here, so you see here, his user's on the 3 rec. He kind of gets caught here. Like, this is a good get off of the user, but he just doesn't have the coverages. And this is just a simple pass from Abram and a great check down. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is that Abram is running a lot of play action. And the reason why he's running a lot of play action is because one of the ways that Gabagool also plays defense is he normally is not going to, the only blitz he's really going to run is this crossfire. Most at this point in the year, a lot of people were running, like, watch his user here on the left side. So you see how his user's kind of staying back like that. That means that he's definitely not running. If his user was up here, he could be running this hit the line meta, but because his user's so back, he's never going to run that. And then also, there's really no threat of edge blitz either. So anyway, just kind of a big deal because as you can see, Abram is kind of, oh no, he's just not getting a lot of pressure with the crossfire because play action does such a good job of blocking it. And you see it again here. So now we're going to get into a 2nd and 8 situation. I actually love the coverage here. A lot of people don't do this, but he puts outside thirds on these safeties. And then he has a double flat to the right, which is kind of wild, and a vert over the middle. So anyway, the seams will be open. We'll see if he tries to attack that way. And we got a tight end streak. And user, that's going to be open off anticipation. Open, open, open. Yep. And there's a throw. Nice read by Abram there to get in the end zone. And that, as I said, 14-3. It's kind of a nice little position that Abram's in. And now Gabagool, honestly, he's in an interesting position because really, now you look down the bottom here, you got about 3 minutes left in the second quarter. If you're in Gabagool's shoes, what you want to do is you want to be able to go down, you want to score, but you don't want to give Abram an opportunity to score before half. Pretty critical that happens. Even if Gabagool only gets a field goal, it's honestly it's probably even a bigger advantage to him to do that than to get 7 too fast. So really, especially with how Abrams' offense is playing this game. So anywho, that being said, Gabagool is going to start this drive with a run, and you're going to see that he's going to not only start with a run to get to a hash mark, but he's starting with a run to get the clock moving so that now he can begin the process of trying to clock this quarter out. He does not want to give the ball back to Abram with too much time left whatsoever here. So he's going to go to PA snag. And this time more of a standard street corner flat, takes that flat to the running back. It's a really high level read. Gabagool, I will say, I think he does decent at the post snap reading process. Right, he's just looking over here. He sees all this space wide open, and so it's just very quick. Abram's sending a ton of pressure, but Gab just hits, throws right where the blitz came from, and able to get 5 yards there. That's going to bring him a 3rd and 5. Looks like Abram kind of going a little more aggressive coverage and gets yelled at. Yeah, got absolutely hummed at here on that left side. Yeah, good defense. Going to bring him a 4th down. All right, 4th and 5. Another flip from Gab, going cheap flat post. And this is the Fancy combo. Fancy ran this play over and over again in the Madden Bowl. A lot of quick reads here. If you're, this is wide open. It's a tough read, honestly, in my opinion. This flat, super tough read. And check out what Abram does. He actually switch sticks. He reads it and switch sticks here and just bites, gives it everything he has to bite down on that tight end. And he is going to break the tackle. So Gabagool makes the quote unquote right read, but it doesn't work out for him. And that's a huge tackle. That's a huge stop from Abram. And now Gabagool really has to get a stop. The game kind of flipped real quick on him, but he really needs to get a stop here. This needs to be at least hold him to 3, because again, now you're going to see Abram try to start the clock. That's why Gabagool's already using his timeouts. 2nd and 9. And Abram's going to try to hit that corner, has it again. And again, it's like kind of the same deal where Gabagool just kind of got outflanked on that corner. It's the second time. That time he was not even able to guard the corner. He had the corner and the streak again on that right-hand side there. So that's going to bring up a 1st down and 10 at about the 17. And Abram is going to audible down. into single back tight flex, wide zone, probably the best under center run in the game. And even though right there, Gabago kind of got a fortunate shed, and he is going to go ahead and get down into 6-1, trying to be able to make sure that Abram can't run the ball in. Right here, if you're Gabago, honestly, you would rather Abram just score quickly. So that's where you're getting a little bit of chess here, where Gabago is probably fine with Abram scoring on the next couple of plays because he wants the ball back so he can go try to score. Where this gets kind of dicey is Abram is trying to clock this out so Gabago doesn't get the ball back, and so here he actually does go ahead and take his points. And maybe if you're Abram, you're honestly thinking, well, I'm probably not gonna be able to clock it out. Let me just take my points. If he gives it to me, he ends up giving it to him with a short post. And now you've got a 21-3, right? Now you got a 21-3 situation. Gabagol is going to be down by 18 points, which is 3 possessions. And this drive right here, you have to score. And ideally, you have to score 7 before half, because if you don't, then you go into halftime losing by 14 points, 15 points. Going to be hard to come back from that in this year's game, just because it allows Abram to kind of play defense a little bit more conservatively and also play offense more conservatively. So, anyways, that being said, it's a really big drive for Gabagool. Going to start out with that running back wheel, tight end seam streak, and he is just getting screamed at with this little show blitz defense from Abram. Abram sending the kitchen sink, man, sending the linebacker, the slot corner, the DT, everybody's going, and he's all over Gab right now. So let's see here. Going to get a slide pro, a blocked running back, take the speed out, good read on the left side, and that's going to bring up the 2-minute warning here. So this is going to go to the 2. Now Gabagol in this situation, while does have plenty of time to score, he doesn't have any timeout, so he's also going to have to play offense a little bit differently, and not able to get the throw off, and that's going to put the ball on the 40, 2nd and 10. Here's cheap flat post. This is the same setup he got stopped on for last drive. Goes back to it here. Good switch kick by Abram. So again, little thing here, man. But now Abram has the flat and he's sending everybody off the side. This is where Gabagool to me is more progression based and almost robotic about it, because his like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But right, you're getting a lot of pressure over here. We see in the same exact event, Wesley make this read a lot against Abram. That throw was open all day and just not able to hit it. And Abram's able to kind of guard 3 players with 1 player on the right hand side there, and gets a nice little defensive play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. Got to have it down for Gab. Going to go PA snag. Going to block the running back. Good timeout by Abram. Make sure your defense gets set. And let's take a look here. Probably going to be the same setup. It's going to streak that solo receiver, so you have a high-low between the corner and the drag, and also between the post and the drag. Playmakers, the drag, not there. And, yeah, I mean, you're just seeing a cage right now, man. This little cloud here. If you're this playmaker was really bad, a big mistake, because this guy's going to run into open space, and it's going to be a first down. Instead, he playmakers him back into coverage by the 3 rec. As you can see, this is covered by the 3 rec, and he's able to switch here. The cloud takes the corner. I mean, just perfect defense from Abram. And Gab is trying to throw Abram a book, but thankful for him, he's getting pressured. So anyway, it's going to be before them down in 10. Honestly, good for Gabgold, because he probably was throwing a pick there. I don't know if he could loft that over his user. Probably not, especially top 3 user, top 3 player in the world. It's going to, have a good user. So going to go back to my favorite play out of here. This levels play, and he is going to catch him with a seam streak. So take a look here real quick with me. This is the other way to run this. This is flat. You've got the fade on the right here, and then you've got this seam streak that's going to really threaten this vertical. And then again, you have this post, and then I love this little backside drag. It's just a simple levels play, high-low with a clear out right here. You can really do whatever you want on the right-hand side. Completely up to you. A lot of times they run a curl flat combination in the real NFL. In Madden, a lot of times you get a street corner flat with a backside high-low of that post flat post and in route. So big conversion for Gab. He's going to go to a standard PA snag, set up drag slant combo, and he gets screamed at again. He can't block the blitz. That's really at the end of the day. This is the core issue. This has been the core issue. 1, 2, 3. And then really it's a send 4. That's the crazy part. He's only sending 4 off that left side. And Abram has not had. This is what's also crazy. Gabagol, with his play calling, he's not made Abram defend this left side of the field. He's not really threatening that left side of the field with anything. And so Abram, the only zone he has over there is an outside quarter. He does no flat to the left side. His user is engaging with the line every time. Like there's just no threat. So here he is going to go to motion angle. This drag will be wide open on this left side. If we take a look at this real quick. So here again, you see 1, 2, 3. Now what that does is just by that little deal, his user has to go there, right? His user has to get out into coverage because he's being threatened by this route. So now this in and of itself makes the blitz significantly worse. And then now you have time to hit open receivers. So just a little bit on in terms of like you got to be able to counter that pressure. And this is where Abram kind of showing up with the defense really hadn't seen a ton of was plays a lot to his advantage here. All right, on the right hand side here, he's got that dig route. And good scramble by Bo Nix, and he's going to get upfield to about the 34. 4th and 2. See if he goes back to the cheap flat post. I think he is. No, he's going to go to just. So this is more of a standard Y sail setup we see all the time. And just snap the ball, read the flat, throw the flat, not there, not there. Scrambling. And going to take that read. It's actually a great completion. I mean, under a ton of pressure. And why is this the right throw? Because it's the only throw. The only throw he has right there. Able to take it, able to get upfield. And he has about 40 seconds. Again, another big factor in all of this is the clock because he doesn't have timeouts. So the runoff in this game is pretty significant, which is why he's not going no huddle. Going to go to that bubble screen with the running back corner. Going to throw it away. And now he's in about 20 seconds. And we're kind of getting into the position where have to kind of start thinking about a field goal because you need points. You have to have points on this drive. Going to go to Y sail here. Going to use a regular out route, try to run that same combo, but with a corner not able to attack there and a big intentional grounding. That's a huge call. That's really, really bad. And now I think luckily for Gabagol, there's no runoff on that. But 3rd and 23 needs a couple yards for a field goal, too. That's why you see the speed out on the left side. And he is going to take that speed out. And wisely, he should be just taking a field goal here on 4th and 14. And he is going to take a field goal. And he's going to be down 21-6. Abram is actually going to pass. Oh, surprise. Normally, he takes knees in these situations and just goes into half. You see there to the deep half on the right side from Gabagol, and does a good job of. So one little underrated tip. So this actually matters. So if you take a look at this right here, this is a deep half. So he's in cover 3, but he deep half this guy. The reason that is significant is because Abram is going to run this combination. He's going to run like basically like a curl or a speed out on this right side and then some kind of deep corner. So if we just let this run, we'll see it. So you see like right here, see how the curl and then you have the corner and then you have the streak. And what happens is if this zone was an outside quarter, he would be down here, but because he's a deep half, he's able to defend the bomb over the top. So again, something very, very small, but a nice little thing to prevent big plays. All right, so second half of action here. This is kind of a must score for Gab, and really this is a must get 7. 21-6. You really don't want the game just starts to get away from you if you don't get 7 here, and so we'll see. Plenty of time to get back in the ball game if he gets a touchdown on this drive. Go streak. He's kind of gone to that a lot, and he catches him over top first play. Watson is going to be able to finish it and get in the end zone. He is. So let's take a look at what happened here. So kind of a rollout play. Abram, again, this is a very, very common mistake that Abram makes, I feel like, with switch stick, and I make it too. As you're kind of like using this, you're like, oh, I got to jump here. But notice his inside quarter, he takes him completely out of the play, as you see, especially right there. He bites down the post. Instead of just drive on the post and kind of keep everything in front of you in a game where you're winning 21-6, he kind of goes for the kill shot with Cooper DeJean here, which again, I just feel like it was unnecessary. And you got a free touchdown over the top. Easy throw, easy pitch and catch. And Watson able to get 7. And Gab going to take his 3. And automatically, I mean, that's like almost perfect for Gabagool. Like you come out, you get a score really early. And now, we see what the defense can do. 21-13 with the whole second half left. He's only down 1 possession now. Like that was a huge touchdown for Gab. And again, that's why I come back and say, like, I think sometimes it's very possible with switch stick, you get so switch stick happy that sometimes you forget, like, you got to switch stick. I don't know, switch situationally. I just feel like Abram really hurt himself by giving up such a free touchdown in a situation where he was, Gabagool needed a free touchdown. So anyway, 2nd and 1, ball on the 30, and going to go with a little inside zone, get a couple yards there. And that is going to bring up first down. See what Abram ends up starting to do. He really is, he's kind of stayed in this formation a lot this game, more so than normal. He hasn't ran as much tight wide off, which he normally runs. I think that's just because Gav is looping and he wants to stay in a play action. Of course, I say that he goes to tight wide off and is going to go to a bench pivot type of setup and get shedded. And good pressure from Gab. One of the reasons why I think Abram is staying in this double flex close is because PA blocks the crossfire pretty much every time. When you start calling other plays that aren't play action, the crossfire is a pretty good blitz. So there's just not a great pass pro forward. Another good pressure from Gab. And I think that was that Nitschke? Does he have Nitschke? Where is Nitschke at? He's got Nitschke on the. Who is that? Is that 66? Is that Nitschke? Looks like him. He like screamed off the edge there. To look at what abilities he has on him, because he like instant shedded him. He's got Barno on the right side. Another instant shed on the left side. Yeah, and I think that's Nitschke. Another good pass rush from him there. Good seam streak from Abram. Yeah, I can't stop watching that left end. That left end is balling. Here, Gab gets kind of out of position. Yeah, that is totally Nitschke. I just saw his label. I got to figure out what he has on him on defense, because that was a crazy, crazy shed on the left side. All right, so we got 2nd and 5 on the 38, street corner. This time Gab switches it well, and he's able to kind of contain that flat. So that play had gotten him a couple times, able to finally adjust to it and be able to kind of get on the right guy to switch. And now he's got Abram on the 3rd down. And again, if you're Gab, I mean, even if you hold a 3 here, right, that's a win. So he's got to get some kind of stop. Abram's gotten 2 stops, I think. Gab has not. Here he is going to the engage in this 3rd-and-1 situation. So kind of mixing it up. And he gets instant pressure. But a great read from Abram. And this is such a good little play, man. I don't see people run this a lot. This is out of doubles flex close, but you see how this guy's so tight to the line? Because of that, Abram's going to run this flat and this whip. And then take a look on the left side with me. You're going to see here. So you see there's that flat. And then this throw right on the cut here. And then he also runs a speed out and a fade on this left side. So super nice play. That might have actually been a post that he ran on the right. Probably was a post now that I look at it a little closer. But it kind of quasi ran like a speed out. Anywho. 1st-and-10, about the 26-yard line. Gab kind of basing in this cover 2. This time the left side safety super far down. which he does not do that a ton. Second 11. So you see here again, touching the safeties, which I will say one of the issues with that, which are we going to see just base cover two here? You know, tight way off. Yeah, so the whole point of moving this guy back is because he can play the middle a lot better. He won't get burned. The problem with that, though, is if this guy dives and this guy's on a seam, it might pop it. So, yeah, so pros and cons to this. Take a look at that solo receiver, and you're going to see there's the drag. Gabagol switch sticks instantly on this guy. He gets a man up here, and he just kind of bites a little too hard on the drag and was late getting there in that route. Able to pop. Nice high ball. Abram safely highballs that into a kind of a soft spot, and he's able to get 7. And another thing about that drive right there is Abram took the majority of the third quarter too, right? He took the majority of the third quarter, and this is where just mathematically, man, Madden becomes at some point it becomes a game of possessions, and when you make mistakes early in the game like that, you put yourself in a hole. Really hard to get back in the game because Gabbo, you know, now down 2 possessions with only 5 minutes left in the game. So it's going to need to be like a score and a stop, basically. So let's see what he has cooked up for this. Going to go just Y sail basic, block the running back, takes that nice tight end seam streak, and that's really a nice read. It's been a nice open space that Gabriel's needed to hit most of this game. And another thing about the way Abrams playing defense against Gab specifically is he's blitzing a lot. Like he's not just sending he's sending the slot corner probably 70% of this game. He sent that slot corner off the left side. So he's really trying to force Gabagool, force the issue a little bit. Uh, Here he's actually played a lot more dropback so far this drive, and you're seeing Gabagool just dot it, by the way, which goes to show you some players they don't like to be pressured. Some players they don't like max coverage. So you got to kind of base off tendency. Obviously, you have to blitz some, and you have to play coverage some. But in general, right, everybody has, like for me, if you're going to drop 8 against me, I want that all day long, right? I don't like the Sun 6. I don't like the Sun 5. That's like something that I feel way, way worse against. What I really don't like is a Sun 4 that can come in against a block running back. But anyway, there's a running back, little inside zone. So 5 minutes, red zone possession for Gab. So I did a good job getting down the field, getting himself into position into scoring range here. Because Abrams running the engage, he's going to run a little tight end crosser right over the top of his user. Actually ends up blocking his tight end. Gets a terrible animation here. This is something that happens on these corner routes. You want to throw them like a wheel, but they're going to do the sharp cut. Anyway, Gab, I don't know what happens, but basically the running back just doesn't react to the ball. And super unfortunate because it was an open read, but the running back corner route itself kind of broke down for him. And that's where having a wheel route, might have been a little better. But the nice thing about the running back corner is how sharp it cuts up into that seam. But unfortunately, not able to hit it. 3rd and 7, we're going to get cheap flat post. Pretty much every big down Gab has been in this play, which goes to show just how powerful it is. On that right side, he's running a smoke screen, little motion out flat route. What was that? Is that a motion out streak? That totally looks like a motion out streak. Kind of something you don't see out of Eagles a lot, but you can motion snap that tight end outside like that, get him to the outside, and something, again, you just don't see that a lot. Anyway, 4th and inches. So this is the game, pretty much. Not going to be a great way for Gab to get back in the game if he doesn't get a stop here. Been a pretty clean game, honestly. And Gab going to call inside zone for his bread with Perry. And he is going to fight his way and almost get in the end zone there. don't see a lot of runs for your bread like that, but he was in the red zone. Where in the red zone, I mean, you it's just hard to score down here. It really is. If you play somebody that knows what they're doing defensively, it's pretty hard to score. Gab is going to come out in this trips tight end look and probably going to flip it. Actually, going to audible down in a goal line. So it was out in trips, audibles down in goal line. He's going to do this to go into QB sneak here, get Abram out of goal line so Gab can run goal line, and good defense from Abram not being able to give that QB sneak. That's going to bring up a third down and goal. Abram's in the double mug, just running mid blitz, and it's blowing up this quarterback sneak, and Gab fumbles the ball. That's terrible. That is so bad. If you're going to run a quarterback sneak, you have to be on conservative. I think Gab went off a conservative for that 4th and inches inside zone, and then he never went back on conservative, and he ends up getting fumbled there. Pretty unfortunate for him. And now this is a really bad position to be in because you can't, he's already having to call timeouts. This kind of, I mean, that kind of really sealed it for him. We'll see if he's able to do anything here. Abram's just going to run the ball. This is 3 runs and a punt. If you're in Abrams' shoes, you're already up 2 possessions. You simply take his timeouts, 3 runs and a punt, and then you play passive defense, in my opinion, in this situation. Going to go to tight Y off. He is probably going to put the ball in the air here and try to convert this first down, but it's got to be very careful. And ends up in incompletion. So that's going to be 4th down. This should be a punt. It is going to be a punt. Let's see. It's going to punt straight down the middle, which we really haven't seen a lot of punt returns in this year's game. Of course, as I say that, he gets out of there with say quads, spins, and it's going to have the ball on the 39. So about 3 minutes left in this game. And you got to score here. I mean, this is like kind of the problem of what just happened, though, with the goal line quarterback sneak issue. Is what happens now is that basically Gabagool has to get an onside kick. And before that, he didn't really have to. He could have just got to stop. So it really limits his options. And he also, the problem with having to resort to an onside kick is if you don't get the onside kick, the major issue, great switch stick from Abram, and great user catch from Gab. The problem is if you don't get the onside kick with the way kicking is in this game, Abram is going to be able to kick a field goal from probably 65 yards. So because of Abram's field goal range, right, he's not going to have to get very many yards if he doesn't get the onside, if Gabagool doesn't get the onside. So it's like that's where like everything has to come down to the onside kick pretty much, and we'll see what happens there. Hits the whip route. Why did he run out of bounds there? So like right here, I mean, I kind of get it, but I mean, maybe he thought Abram was going to come back inside, but he totally was staying outside. And I don't know. I kind of wonder if he cuts up field there, if he gets it. I don't know. That's a type play though. I mean, I could see it. I can see cutting it up there, and I can see running it out of bounds. Gonna go to the Lord's play, man. Motion wide post this year been one of my favorite plays. Just a great play, great routes, and gonna hot route a little bit, and gonna throw his high ball into the 3rd row. High ball the tight end there, probably just because keeping another user, trying to keep a safe throw. But in this year's game, high balls are kind of 50-50 in my opinion. I don't even know if that's fair. Like I don't know what the percentage is, but all right, gonna go PA slot corner. And gonna take his table route and get in there with Perry. All right, and you don't have to go for 2 here. He is gonna kick a field goal, and see, and this is where it is definitely a decision. So what Gab is doing, deciding to do is he does have 2 clock stoppages left because Abram threw the ball on 3rd and 7. And so because of that, he is going to kick it deep because 2 minutes and 9 seconds, the clock is probably not going to stop here. Right. So it's going to stop after the first down play automatically because of 2-minute warning. He then can use his timeout on 2nd down, and then he only has to deal with 1 30-second runoff, which does give him the best chance. But at the end of the day, he needs a stop, right? So he doesn't technically have to rely on an onside, but simultaneously, He has to get a stop here. I mean, this is basically do or die. Ball on the 28-yard line, second down and 10. It should be a run from Abram. He is not. He's going to 5 out. He's going to pass twice and just try to win the game, basically. If Abram gets a first down, game's basically over. Uh, and Scab just selling out, switch sticking, and just not there. And this is like, I mean, talk about the most popular play in the game, right? Out route, streak, zig, post. I mean, this little pocket here, if we just leave this alone, but here's the problem. We got 20 streaks. What's really unfortunate is Gab is thinking, oh, he's going to throw here, definitely. And oh, by the way, something worth mentioning here is if we slow this down. So you see right here, late in the play, Gab manned his user up here, right? That cross man thing I was telling you about. So Gab probably thinks that cross man is going to play it. And so you see here, he is playing it, but he just basically gets outran because that's how good short posts are. And right before he gets hit, Bonix throws an absolute dart to Smith, and Abram is in field goal range, wrapped up, and Gabagool is going to go ahead and get out of here. So really good gameplay from both these guys, just kind of showing some different things within the game. Shout out to RHG for what they're doing. All the links will be in the description down below. Shout out to all the sponsors for making this event awesome, and hope you guys enjoyed Abram versus Gabagool and the film breakdown.